Morning, guys. Still in the UK, thanks to the lockdowns and new impossibilities of being able to travel around. Having a walk this morning out in the park. You may hear some ducks and Canadian geese and the odd yappy dog, but good to get a bit of fresh air. So, although things are fairly negative still at the minute with the media, I do think we're heading into a much more positive space over probably the next 4 to 6 weeks. As I said before, I was expecting the figures to suddenly drop with the COVID cases anyway, and suddenly they've dropped by 2/3. I'm not saying it's the end of the flu season, because obviously it didn't exist this year. But the point being is, that's when we start looking at an exit from all this, at least for now, until they start trying to force the vaccine on people by just making it difficult. You don't have to have one, but you can't go to a restaurant unless you've got one. I can see it all coming. That's my personal opinion anyway. Of course you can go to Spain, but you've got to have a vaccine. If you ain't got a vaccine, you can't fly. That's my personal opinion. So I'm looking for things to start having some form of normality, because I think the biggest problem is inconsistency. Because the information is fairly made up as they go along, from what I personally can see, even with the statistics, they can't keep them accurate. I think that's the biggest problem. Because if you knew, for example, come May the 1st, everything's back to normal, guess what? You just switch off until May the 1st. It's a bit like working in a job you absolutely hate. You clock in, make your cup of tea, go and sit at your desk or start on the factory floor, and you think about anything but where you are. You need that exit. You're looking at the clock, because that's the other thing. That's why some of these places don't have a clock, because people start watching it and thinking, I've still got 4 hours left to go. So just bear that in mind. I can see this is starting to come to an end. It's going to be slow going, but we will get there in the end. Now, what's these guys doing? Not sure if the geese are having a square off with the swan or not. Swan's got its... have a look. He's curved up his wings. So, I'm not sure what's going on. A bit of a territory fight going on here, I think. Let's just try and get past these guys. Yeah. Swan's looking a bit. I don't know. So what I can see happening this year, though, from my side, is the property we've been talking about for Spain. We're pretty much there now. April's seen a property she really likes, and I'm not talking about it too much at the minute till we've closed the deal, because so far it's jinxed it twice now. So the good thing about this one is it's not advertised, and obviously with the Brexit and the UK decline in Spain, in the sense of they destroyed all the tourism and bar and tourism industry, I suspect prices ain't going to go up now. Don't get me wrong, not expecting too much to go down either. I think they're just going to sit there, because they have done for the last 2 years. So I suspect we're in for the same, unless there's a complete run on things. The reason for that being is, even with the Brits that fail now because their bars have been absolutely hammered and destroyed, there's plenty of Brits wanting to jump in there as soon as the COVID situation wakes up, in the sense of we can get back to a bit of normality. Because I don't know why, a lot of people like to buy bars and restaurants when they retire. Worst job in the world. Meet lots of people, but work all the hours. So the last thing you want to be doing is doing that when you retire, in my personal opinion. But everything else looks like it should be on the up and up. And yes, this one was irritated by those geese. they've gone off screaming as they decide to chase them across the water. But yeah, I mean, there should be some more interesting stuff coming up this year. I know it's been fairly quiet. This is why I try not to post just random nonsense. But we should have some stuff coming up with a new property. There should be some other stuff coming up about other projects after that, because obviously once we buy this property, my cost of living drops by about a third, which means we'll be investing in other bits and pieces, possibly another property this year as well, all going well. But like I said, no rush on that, because nobody can rent it out at the minute, so no rush in taking on any debt. But looking forward to getting back to Spain as soon as I can, that's for sure. Anyway guys, thanks for watching.